Hey y'all, welcome to my channel where we talk about all things television and film from today and yesteryear. So today I wanted to come on here and talk about the show Under the Bridge that is currently streaming on Hulu. Um, if you have not watched the show and you intend on watching it and you don't want any spoilers, I suggest you click off this video. With that being said, let me get into it. So the show is centered around a young lady named Raina and her parents, who are up at the top, her parents, and these two young ladies here. The blonde, her name is Josephine, and the black girl, her name is Dusty. So Raina and her family are Indian. Her mother is a practicing Jehovah's Witness, therefore her family practices Jehovah's Witness. Very strict. Her mom is more strict. Her dad is more lenient. Raina is the typical teenager who is trying to find her way through life the way that she wants to. She wants to do what she wants to do and not what her parents want her to do. And if I'm being honest, I did not like this character, Raina. And I have to stress character Raina because this show is based on true events, but I do know that oftentimes they do fictionalize true stories just for entertainment purposes. And with that being said, I absolutely did not like this young lady, Raina. She did not deserve what happened to her, but she was one of those females that needed to be popped in the mouth by her parents, not by her peers, by her parents. I did not like the way that she talked to her parents. Her dad was such a nice guy. He was, like I said, he was more lenient than the mother. And what she did to her dad was absolutely disgusting just because she wanted to fit in with this blonde head fool who basically was all bark and no bite. She literally, Josephine character is literally one of those girls who say she about it but ain't about nothing but crawling up in the corner when it comes down to it. Dusty, um, I just feel like she wanted to fit in. One thing about this show, it has a very in-depth depiction of bullying and peer pressure. I'm personally, I never, you know, was a victim of peer pressure or bullying. And this was kind of just, it just gives you a real in depth look of what bullying and peer pressure looks like. Also, the show is based in the 90s, which is the time that I grew up when I was a teenager. Those are my teenagers in the 90s. Um, and the show also had a lot of emphasis on hip hop music. Like the girls, they were really into Biggie. And it was so weird because I remember back in the day and also now how they say hip hop culture influences a lot of things. So I'm wondering if that was true, since this is based on true events, if these young ladies really were into hip hop or if that was something they fictionalized in the show just to kind of make it seem like since these girls were so into hip hop culture and wanted to be in the gang life so bad, if that was part of the reason why they were the way that they were and what they ended up doing to the young lady Raina. Um, these characters here, Rebecca, she is a reporter and she's from the town that all the craziness happens in. Um, I believe they are in Canada. I know it happened in Canada in real life, but I believe they're in Canada on the show as well. But anyway, and this young lady here, she is Cam. She is the police officer who basically put her foot down and was like, yo, we not about to just let this situation fall to the wayside because when Raina ends up going missing, her parents, they go to the police station and it was like, well, has she run away before? And Raina had because she was just a delinquent teen. And so they was like, well, we have to wait a certain amount of time. And so they basically were not concerned about it. Cam, her father was like the head sheriff or whatnot. But, thankfully, Cam, she was not about to just sit back and not look for this young lady because they were in a small town. They very rarely had any issues or incident. And also, Cam did not want it to seem like they were not as interested in trying to figure out what happened to Raina because of Raina's ethnicity and her being, a brown Indian woman, young lady. Down here, you have Warren and his girlfriend. Unfortunately for Warren, Warren was just one of those kids who, um, you know, he really didn't have any parents around. He was in the streets. He was basically homeless. So he was just basically going along to get along. Um, this fool right here, Kelly, this girl, Kelly, is a prime example of privileged psycho. Like this girl, she had both her parents. They were very well to do. And mind you, Josephine and Dusty, the young ladies I showed you earlier, they're growing up in a group home. We don't really get that much background as to why they're there. Josephine mentions her mom every once in a while, and then we do find out that Dusty is in the group home because she tried to harm one of her nieces. But anyway, this girl here, Kelly, she prefers to be at the group home because she and Josephine, the blonde, they're like the best of friends. But the way that Kelly is, she is one of those females, she want to have Josephine all to herself. Dusty is the tag along, but she wants to basically be the main bestie in Josephine's life. And unfortunately for Raina, she ends up falling into some type of friendship. If you want, I don't even want to call it a friendship. She ends up associating with these girls. The only person that was really her friend was Dusty. Dusty really liked Raina. They got along very well. And Josephine, she basically could sniff out the fact that Raina wanted to belong to a group, and she took advantage of that. Um, Basically, what ends up happening, these teenagers, Dusty, Josephine, Kelly, Warren, and some other teenagers, they end up taking Raina under a bridge and they beat her. Raina does something to Josephine, and Josephine ain't having it. She ain't feeling it. So the way that they decide to punish her is to basically jump her. And if anyone is of kind of grew up around the 90s and things like that, and I don't know how things are now with the gang culture, but I know back in the day they used to say if you got jumped into a gang, then you would be in the gang or whatnot. So a part of their plan was to make it seem like they were going to jump Raina and make and just be like, oh yeah, now you belong to CMB, whatever gang these girls associated themselves with. Because Raina, she really, really wanted to be friends with these girls to the point where she lied and said that her dad uh, assaulted her in an ancestral way so she could go stay in a group home with these girls. Like this this girl literally lied on her dad because Josephine told her, if you want to hang with us, then you got to do XYZ. So this girl went and lied on her dad just so she can go stay in a group home. And then when she got there, Josephine, the blonde, she basically was dismissive of the girl. Like, yeah, you here now, but we still don't really want to have nothing to do with you. We still don't rock with you. But anyway, Raina is at her wits' end, and she ends up doing something to Josephine. She steals her book of contacts and does these prank calls or whatnot. Josephine's not having it, and they end up jumping Raina under a bridge. Um, and Raina does survive the attack. It's about 6 or 7 people, and she does survive the attack. Unfortunately, when she gets up to leave, and all of this is found out on video surveillance. They end up seeing her get up and walk off. But anyway, Warren and Kelly end up finishing the job, basically unaliving this young lady. I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, guys. There's so much that happens in this. It's 8 episodes, and I'm trying to just kind of summarize it as much as I can without going detail to detail, since I didn't review it per episode. But anyway, um, uh, they end up unaliving the girl, and this scene right here that is on, that you guys are looking at right now with them looking down, this is when they see on the news that Raina is actually, she's deceased. And again, like I said, the blonde Josephine, she is just one of those chick who got a whole lot of mouth but not really about that life. So she is really in shock that the girl is gone, because she was like, I can't believe she's really, you know, she's really unalive. And not knowing that the person next to her, Kelly, is the one that actually did it. So basically, the show, throughout the show, you're just gonna see the effect that Raina's death has on her family and the community. Um, and Cam, the police officer, she's basically got her eye on everybody, because she's like, somebody knows what happened to this girl. And it ends up coming out that Kelly and Warren were the ones who actually, took her out. Um, Dusty, she and Raina were really friends. Dusty really liked Raina, the black girl. She really liked Raina. She was very remorseful. Whoever the young lady is who played Dusty did a phenomenal job. I mean, all of the actors and actresses in this series were very, very good. I did not like Raina's character at all, and I'm going to specifically say character because, again, I want to be mindful that this is based on true story. I don't know if this was the real personality of the real young lady who lost her life, but Raina on this show, a lot of these kids on the show, is like somebody needed to smack them. You know what I'm saying? But um, this show was very, very, very good. Again, the effect that her death had on that town and just her group of people who she thought were her friends. I appreciated them just showing the side effects of, oftentimes, about peer pressure and bullying, because it affected all of those kids. And you have these two young ladies who are making it seem like they running things when really they're running away from things. Um, I really, really, really enjoyed the show. I do recommend it. However, I would say it would be a trigger warning to people who have been bullied or have dealt with peer pressure of some sort throughout their life. I would just say that there are very intense moments in this series that are very upsetting, but it's necessary to tell the story. I also believe that there is a book about this particular series. I think I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it on Audibles when I get a chance. Um, Also, I do think that all of the ones that were convicted and had to do jail time, I believe they are no longer in prison. I believe they've all served their time. Um, Again, this show was very, very good. It wasn't. I wonder how much of the actual story was in the show. Again, they did fictionalize a lot of things in the show, but I'm wondering how much of it was actually real, beside the fact that these kids unalived that young lady. Um, but anyway, guys, I just wanted to kind of talk about this show because it's something that I really enjoyed and I do recommend it. Again, it's streaming on Hulu. It's about 8 episodes, Under the Bridge. And just let me know what you guys think about it. If you have seen it, leave a comment and just let me know what you guys think about this show. And thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you on the next video. Thank you. Bye.